How's everybody doing today? This is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please smash the hell out of that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah, man, we're gonna talk this boxing today, you guys. Wow, man. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, man, it's looking closer and closer, baby. It's looking closer and closer, like we're gonna get, what we really came to see and what we really want to see, and what the boxing fans, deserve to see. I don't know about you guys out there. We've all been waiting for finally come. That's what Earl Spence saying. Spence saying that this time has finally come. It's time for both fighters to come together and to fight each other, man. And I think it'll be awesome for the sport. And finally both guys, it doesn't look like business is going to get in the way. Terence Crawford is free of his contract, which is awesome. And I just think, moving forward, I really think that, this is going to be a great fight for the boxing fans. Boxing fans win on this fight. There's been a lot of chit chat, about Thurman possibly fighting Terence Crawford. Earl Spence has came out, ladies and gentlemen, and he has guaranteed that Terence Crawford will be his next fight. Okay? So, we can lay to rest when, is this fight going to happen next? Earl Spence is guaranteeing that these two guys get in the ring this year. Those are big. That's a pretty big statement, man, from a, unified and, gonna challenge himself to an undisputed championship. In the boxing, that's the highest pinnacle of boxing, is to not only to unify the belts, but to be the undisputed champion. So when you're undisputed, you guys, there is no question in anybody's mind that you are the champion. You have all of the belts. You now are the best at 147 no matter what. Whichever one of these guys win this fight, you can undoubtedly say that these guys are the two best welterweights at the time. Yeah, you got Jerome Boots Ennis. Coming up. He's definitely coming up. We don't want to forget that. He said, "What happened, bro?" Oh, no doubt, man. I got you, man. My bad, man. This damn computer, man. I'm just learning this computer, man. First time I had a computer in a couple years. That's been, that's worked and shit. So we're going to get it in, man. I normally do a lot of this shit off my phone. So to get a brand new computer, it's a blessing, man. It's a fucking blessing. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you want to jump on, Penny, go ahead, man. I'd love to hear what you got to say about it, man. I'm going to be on for a little while. But yeah, man, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, man. I hope finally, for the first time in my life, I can say that we're going to see something that we've all been wanting to see, man. I don't know about y'all, man, but like I said, this has been years in the making. Not months. Not, just a couple days, but, this has been years in the making. What's going on, Penny?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Sorry about the technical difficulties, man. I'm learning this, this whole new system and everything. And I got a Windows, so I'm normally used to MacBooks.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Hey, man, I might get technical difficulties myself because there's an area here in the train or in the line where there's no coverage. So I'm just letting you know in advance.
Okay, that's cool, man. But yeah, man, I wanted to know, man, how do you feel about Errol Spence guaranteeing, that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence will meet up? How do you feel about Errol Spence, the unified champion, just come off the win of beating Yordenis Ugas, which you thought Ugas was going to win? Remember, you actually picked Ugas to win. So, we got to actually give you your crow. We never officially gave Penny his crow. here at Corey Lee Boxing, man. So, now that everything's straight, man, we can officially give Penny his crow, man. So how do you feel about, Errol Spence moving forward? And I know that, you picked against him. So how do you feel, man?
Hey Corey, I was a bit surprised of because I watched that replay of the Ugas Spence fight. I was surprised that Ugas didn't use his length for some reason. He was fighting in the inside against Spence, which is dangerous because Spence's body shots are really good.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I didn't expect that performance by Errol. I thought it was an A plus performance. I didn't even expect him to stop him. First thing, but yeah, but moving on, I do like that Spence-Crawford fight. That fight needs to happen. They've been circling each other for like 4 years. Like we don't want another Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. So yeah, it should happen in November, MGM Grand. So yeah, let's see, man. I'm going for Spence, by the way. I always have.
You going for Spence? I mean, but you say you always have, but just recently you did not go with Spence, man. So, I would love to know, what made you go with Ugas,
No, because Corey, the reason why I was against Spence versus
we can sit here and laugh about it now, but you did pick Ugas though.
Yes, I did. It's because I wasn't unsure of his eye and his post car accident. But now that's been tested against Ugas, I think Spence will beat Crawford. I've always what I was saying is before that I was always going for Spence. I meant Spence versus Crawford. Had they fought 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, I would have always gone for Spence. But now that I know that Spence's eye is good, I'm all in on Spence.
I'm up. Yeah. So that's awesome. So I mean, yeah. So moving forward, man, I just think right now, man, is the best time. It's the best time that Crawford and Spence meet up. You know what I mean? Because it's like both guys are coming off pretty big wins, pretty good wins, You got
Yes.
Crawford coming off not too long ago, a Kell Brook fight, which I rewatched again today. I just think that Kell Brook made one mistake in that fight, man, and it cost him, man. He was actually doing good. He was backing up Terence Crawford with the jab. If you really look at that fight, and that's another fight that, that I can't say that, I can't say for certain that Kell Brook was at 100% because he did not have Dominic Eagle in his corner. That was that's like Aaron Wolf not being in James Kirkland's corner. That's a big, come on now. Anytime that a fucking trainer or another promotional company mandates that you do not train with your trainer, that's a weapon, bro. That's a weapon, bro.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. Like when other promotional companies and when they make fights and they say, look, these two guys, if James Kirkland, because this is what I heard. I heard in the stipulations of Canelo fighting James Kirkland that James Kirkland was not to have Aaron Wolf in his corner, and that's crazy.
Yeah. Hey Corey, I was in this other podcast with Last Bell Boxing, who are from Britain, and I told them that that Kell Brook was actually winning that fight against Spence up until he hit him in the eye. And they said that they were there in the fight in Sheffield, and they said that no. Brook was Spence was winning that fight. So I don't know, man. If you were there live, you would probably say that Spence was winning all the time. But from TV, when I was watching it, I thought Brook was winning. Oh, I'm with you. I thought Brook was winning, but I eventually think that Spence would have gotten him.
Brook was winning.
When I was watching it on TV, I thought Brook was up maybe 1 or 2 rounds, but I think eventually Spence would have gotten them because you can tell that Spence was getting closer and closer.
Yeah, man, and that's another thing, you guys, man. Like, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford was one of those. I feel like it's gonna be one of those throwback type of showdowns. You know, a lot of people are not understanding the magnitude of this fight. We get to finally see this fight in our generation, Penny. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like Pacquiao versus Mayweather, Pacquiao versus De La Hoya, De La Hoya versus Mayweather, all in one. Both of these guys are undefeated.
Yes. And in their primes too.
And only one of them can get off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, it's. I feel like it's gonna be a wild west just shootout, man. I really do, man. I think it's gonna heat up. I think both guys are gonna start warming up. They're gonna feel each other out in the first couple rounds, 2 or 3 rounds, and I think after about the third or fourth round, Penny, possibly the fifth, I think they're gonna get after it. I think they're gonna get after it, dude.
Yeah.
I think they're 100%
Corey.
get after it, man.
Hey Corey, I hope we get like a Pacquiao Cotto fight at 147. Remember how that was a barn burner in the first, say, 6 rounds?
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
Because Corey, you know that De La Hoya, or was it Trinidad fight? I thought that was kind of boring, man, because they weren't really going at it. You know what I mean?
You said it was.
It wasn't like yeah, it wasn't like De La Hoya, Ike Corte, where they were really going at it. Remember that fight?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but you know, it's like now, you know, now both guys are, you know, they're getting after, but they're not getting after it like, you know, I feel like they're not getting after like, you know, old school fighters. Like old school fighters used to really get after it, man. Like used to really get after it. And you know, nowadays I just feel like the fighters of today's era, man, they don't really go after it. They don't go after. They don't have that killer instinct. Some of them, you know. But I just feel like out of all the welterweights, these are the two guys with that fucking killer instinct, Penny. They got that killer instinct, dude. They got that. They have that. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, man, for both of these guys to finally get this, man, and to finally, you know, be there and to I don't know, I just feel like the magnitude of this fight is a lot bigger than what people think, and I don't know, I just really truly want to see this fight, man. You know? Yeah, it's gonna be a big number.
Yeah, Corey, I think it's going to be a big fight because there's no excuses. Both of them are undefeated, and they're still in their primes. So, whereas, you know, when Pacquiao fought Mayweather, Pacquiao got KO'd against Marquez. So, you know, it's like, you know, that was kind of like an excuse. Whereas here with Bud versus Spence, there are no excuses, and it's for the undisputed too, for all the belts. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight, man. Las Vegas, man. Are you going to Las Vegas?
Las Vegas, Nevada, man. I'm not. I for this fight, Penny, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and go, man. I'm thinking about going.
Now arriving at Footscray. Change here for Thornbury service.
Yeah, how's everybody doing? Yeah, man. I don't know what happened, but yeah, man. I think this fight, I'm gonna go. You know, hopefully Penny comes back, man. But I'm definitely gonna go. This is a fight that I didn't want to miss. I definitely didn't want to miss. And you know, I told everybody, you know, that's ever followed Corey Lee boxing. I told them, look, man, this is the fight that I really want to truly see. I feel like both guys have done enough in the sport to get to this level and to get paid like they're supposed to get paid. Mind you, a lot of these fighters in boxing today, you guys, don't get paid the way that they should get paid, you know. And I feel like both of these guys have came in and you know, sorry about that, Penny. I gotta change my camera function, so I'm not gonna be able to use my camera for this live. But for the next live, I'm gonna be able to use it. I just tried to fix it on the fly just now, and it just didn't work. So I'll fix it for
Yeah.
the next time. But yeah, I wanted to touch, man, that this is a really good point too that I just brought up. I think, both guys, boxers normally don't get paid the way I feel like what they're worth. Let's be honest, Penny. Some of these fighters don't get paid what they're worth. I mean, both of these guys, I feel like, especially Errol Spence, inside of the ring and outside of the ring, has been battle tested. Okay? Not only that, he's earned his right to get to this level, to get to this point, Penny. So not only that, so you got Errol Spence that's earned his position, and everybody think he's rightfully the proud owner of all of those belts. You got that, and then you got Terence Crawford that earned his position as well. So it just, you know what I mean? Not only earned his position, but he earned his position in multiple weight classes. What Errol Spence has not done yet. So, that's another thing. Terence Crawford is a multiple weight division world champion. Errol Spence is not. And for this fight, I think that could probably help out, Terence Crawford. Seeing different styles. Them 135-pounders come quicker, a lot quicker than 147-pounders do. I know that. Their hand speed, I just feel like their hand speed is different at 135. I think Teofimo Lopez's hand speed is quicker than Errol Spence's. What do you think?
Hey Corey, so just going back to your first subject about the purses.
Yeah.
I don't think they should talk about A side, B side, because that's gonna irk out Errol. I think they should just accept the 55-45 in favor of Errol, because Errol's got 3 belts, man. And Bud's only got 1. So
yeah.
I think Bud did say that he was willing to accept the lower purse anyway.
Penny, don't say
I don't
the
think
70-30 split, bro. Don't say that 70-30 split.
Nah. Hey, Corey, 55-45 is fair, right? Don't you think?
55-45 for this fight?
Yeah, in favor of Spence. For the split. Purse split.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty reasonable.
Because dude, if you go to 60-40, man, Spence is not going to accept that. That's too much, man.
Trendsetter,
you know what I mean?
Salute, my brother. Shout out to Trendsetter in the building, man. I know my live stream the notifications don't come up, man. But thank you. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in, you guys. We got Penny here all the way from where are you at again, Penny?
New Zealand.
New Zealand is in the house. What time is it over there, buddy?
It's about 10:30
in the morning.
Yes.
Okay, we're right now. It's 6:20 p.m. Eastern time out here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I'm ready to go in and work. I work overnight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So about this fight though, Penny. With everything going on, you guys got to understand, Penny, that both guys, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, I think that they're going to get their career high paydays in this fight.
Yes. Yes.
I'm thinking upwards. I mean, what do you think, Penny? I'm thinking upwards of. I'm thinking they're starting at $50 million apiece.
No, that's too much, man. No. I'm thinking the pay-per-view.
I'm just saying, like, you gotta think too, though. You gotta think too. The pay-per-view revenue, and you're saying both of these guys are getting a 55-45 split. Mind you, some people are thinking that this fight might, do minimum 500,000 pay-per-view buys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're pricing the pay-per-view at $100 a pop, you know what I'm saying? $100 a pop, and you got 500,000 pay-per-view buys. That's 50 million. That's not even including the gate and international, buys and stuff like that. So I just think that both guys, maybe I'll peel back from the 50 million. Maybe I'll say at least 25 million a piece, maybe 50 million total, I would say.
Yeah, I think the I think the pay-per-view will do maybe 700,000, 700, 750. But yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe they'll probably get to me maybe 20 to 25 million each.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't think that they'll sell that $100 per view, man. I was thinking more like maybe $70, $75. $100, that's like Pacquiao Mayweather pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, I think in the upside they might get upwards of 30 million, but nah, 50 million each. Nah, man, that's Pacquiao, Mayweather, Canelo type numbers, bro.
Well, I'm not saying 50 million. Like I'm not trying. Like now that I think about it, I'm not saying 50 million. Like I'm thinking, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. To be honest, like the global, I don't know. To me, I feel like this is. I truly feel like, me being a boxing fan and me being a diehard boxing fan, Penny, I think that this fight has $50 million at least minimum in the pot for both fighters. You know what I mean? The revenue. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I just think that it'll be $50 million at least. That's the starting point for, like, you know what I mean? Like that's how much this fight can make. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Corey. No, I agree with you. Yeah. You mean the total revenue is over 50 million? Yeah, I agree with that. But Corey, they have to give 50% to Showtime. Like they don't get all of it. They have to give 50%. Say for example, the total revenue is, say, just as an example, 75 million, right? Or 70. Let's keep it simple. 70 million, right? Well, they have to give 35 million to Showtime. And then the remaining 35, then they can split it between them. And then they have to give some money to the promoters, to the trainers. So, you know, that's why I was saying maybe 20 million each.
Yeah, 20 million each. That's a pretty good assessment, man.
Yeah.
But you know,
still a successful event though. Damn.
Yeah.
Who's getting 20 million these days apart from Fury and Canelo? No one.
I just feel like Canelo is getting all that fucking money, bro. That's crazy, bro.
He deserves it, man. He deserves it, man. Remember when he fought Mayweather and Canelo only got like 15 million and Floyd got like 70 million because the pay-per-view did like 2.2 million pay-per-view buys. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he was the B-side to that fight. And he pretty much accepted everything, including the purse, the catch weight at 152. And then after that, he became the A side. He was never the B side after that fight.
Man, that's another thing too, man. Like, I just feel like these guys are gonna train their ass off. I feel like they're gonna be in tip-top shape. I feel like we're gonna see the best of both guys. The only thing I hope does not happen is one of these guys, God forbid, or anything happens, but like they tweak something in camp or something. I just hope that everything goes to plan, because you know that whole, I think, and that's another thing. Like for a big fight like this, being that they got there to this point, I mean, obviously you go balls to the wall, you know, in training, and you go all out. But I'm just saying, in sparring, being that this is the biggest fight of your career, you already know what to do. You know, when it comes to, you know, most of your fundamental work. I'm just saying, I'm thinking in my head, do you peel back the sparring in a camp like this? What do you think?
Yeah, at their ages, they can't train like in their 20s.
Yeah,
but
and that's I do think that's a good point, Penny. You saying that they're both a little older in age.
Yeah, they're in there. I think, but isn't Bud like 34 years old?
34,
and Spence is what, 33?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're not spring chicken anymore. Hey, Corey, I think I'm gonna run out of battery here, man. So if I cut off, I'm just letting you know in advance.
Okay, buddy, that's fine. All right, man.
So yeah, Hey, Corey, do you think that just Bud should just go straight to the Thurman fight rather than fighting Keith Thurman?
The Thurman fight is definitely out there, and it's enticing, and it's definitely will bring some money. And I definitely think that Thurman can definitely get a really good payday off of that if he fights Terence Crawford. But and that's another thing. That's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up, Penny, because like if Keith Thurman doesn't get that Terence Crawford fight, where does he go? I feel like if I don't think he's gonna move up to 154 pounds. So I feel like a guy like Keith Thurman could be left in limbo at 147 to possibly face Jaron Boots Ennis, which Jaron Boots Ennis is definitely gonna need names. He's gonna need names, but all of the names are moving up to 154. Penny. So you guys got to think about that, man. You got to think about that. What's next after this mega fight? Yes, this is a mega fight, but this is just one fight. You've already heard Errol Spence say he's moving up after this. Okay? Errol Spence has already said he's going to 154 after this. Terence Crawford says after he beats Errol Spence, he wants his cheerleader, which is his stablemate, Charlo. So, I mean, he's already saying that he's going to beat both of these guys. Pete, can you see a scenario where Terence Crawford runs through both Errol Spence and stablemate Charlo? Wow.
Hey, Corey, say Spence beats Bud, right, at 147, and then he goes up to 154, beats Charlo. At 154, he becomes undisputed in 2 weight classes, right? And say, for example, he beats Triple G at 160. Will he have a better resume than Floyd Mayweather?
Man, you really, man, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, man. What's going on, Jimmy? Let me answer this question real quick. Wow, if he goes up, will he have a better resume than Floyd Mayweather? My answer is no to that. My answer is no, and here's why. Floyd Mayweather has been a legendary boxer, and he's done legendary things in the sport. But it's not only that; it's going to be hard to topple Floyd Mayweather just for this one instance. He is in like 2 to 3 different eras, Penny. You guys got to understand, Floyd Mayweather won his title before Oscar De La Hoya, and they came out in the same Olympics. Corey Boxing knows what he's talking about, man. Come on now. I do this shit for real, y'all. Come on now. But I feel like Oscar De La Hoya got that push that Mayweather never really had, And I just feel like Floyd Mayweather defied all odds, and he got those big fights from preservation and, preserving his body and not drinking and not partying after that. So I'm just saying a fighter's going to have to live a very, very clean life to try to even match what Floyd Mayweather has done in the ring, much less one of these guys dethrone Floyd Mayweather as the greatest fighter of all time or in our generation. Jimmy, what's going on, man? Jump in, man. How do you feel about that question? How you been doing, my brother?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Did you hear the question that Penny had?
Is it the Keith Thurman and
no, he asked Penny. Ask him about the Floyd Mayweather, that same one you asked me, Penny.
So if Spence beats Bud at 147, he becomes undisputed, and then he goes up to 154, beats Jermell Charlo to become undisputed at 154, right? If Charlo beats Castano, then goes up to 160 and beats Triple G, who will probably lose to Canelo. Will Bud have a better resume than Floyd Mayweather?
To be honest, I'm not even sure about the Triple G thing, but if he beats
Errol
Spence, yeah, that's just a bit too much, bro. I mean, this guy's a former lightweight. Bud started his career lightweight. If he beats Errol Spence to become undisputed, right? He'd be, and then Jamal Charlo, he'd be a three division undisputed champion in 4 different weight classes, taking out some young, big, powerful guys, and Errol Spence and Jamal Charlo. I mean, Mayweather was never undisputed in any weight class, so he never cleaned out a division. So if Crawford does that in 3 divisions, I mean, it's impressive.
But man, he was
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we might have
Can you
lost
guys hear?
Penny, man. I think Penny's phone was going out. He said it was going out anyways. His battery was going low. But
Okay.
so
Mayweather
yeah, continue what you were saying, though, Jimmy.
beat a lot of big names, but he never cleaned out. Like, say, if Crawford is that's tough, bro. 3 different divisions from to clean them out. Because Mayweather never did that. So, and a lot of the guys that he fought were kind of, like Mosley and Pacquiao and stuff. They were kind of at the end of their career. And I think Errol Spence and Jamal Charlo are big, strong guys in their prime, undefeated. And he's moving up to do it. It's tough, man. It's a tough. Well, what do you think, Corey? That's a tough question,
That's a tough question, man. That's a really tough question, man. Shout out to everybody that's answering the question at home, man. The question is, can one of these guys dethrone? Pretty much the question was, can Errol Spence or Terence Crawford, because mind you, and that's another thing. It's such a good question, man, because we gotta think about this. We gotta think about this, Jimmy. We gotta actually break this down. Shout out to Armando. He says Corey Lee the GOAT. No doubt, man. Jimmy, salute. Yeah, the GOAT. You already know, man. But this is what I wanted to say. Shout out to, he says Crawford's not Ugas. He says he's better, guaranteed. It all that ducking he's been doing for years. Okay, we got that understood. This is my point for this analogy. Before Penny got off, I'm like Penny and Jimmy. It's a tongue twister, bro. So I'm like, pretty much. The question was, can Errol Spence or Terence Crawford be better than Floyd Mayweather Jr. if he beats? Let's just say what he was saying was, if Terence Crawford can beat Errol Spence and then move up and then beat Charlo and then move up and beat Canelo, if Crawford were to do all of that stuff, like Penny was alluding to,
yep.
I mean, which way does he beat Canelo? It's like, yo.
It's too much. I'll be honest, bro. I think that's just too much.
I'm thinking it is too, but here's my thoughts on it though. Like, I think that first of all, he's got a big task ahead of him, with Errol Spence Jr.
Yep.
And a lot of people have, and Derek James took a lot of flack for the interview that he did, pretty much trying to almost discredit Terence Crawford and his 11 knockouts in a row. How do you feel about his winning streak and his knockout streak? Do you think that he has a better resume than Errol Spence Jr. at this point? Just in boxing,
bro. So just the welterweight division or their overall resume?
I'm gonna say in this aspect, because I'm just talking about Crawford as a whole fighter. Yeah, people say, well, what has he done at 147? But it's like, well, damn, do you not count the shit that he did at 140? Do you not count the shit that he did at 135? Like, come on, you guys. I feel like we gotta at least give these boxers credit for what they have done. You know what I mean? And I just think that Terence Crawford did a lot at 135. He did a lot at 140. And now he's trying to do what he did at 140. He's trying to do it at 147. Because that'll make him what? 2-time undisputed champion of the world, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make, if Terence Crawford were to beat Errol Spence,
yep,
that's a dude. I'm going to be honest, man. I love when Penny asked that question, man. Yeah. If Terence Crawford can beat Errol Spence, he'll be a 2-time undisputed champion in boxing, something that Floyd Mayweather never did once. So it's dude, you got to think about this shit. The Crawford's name, if he beats Spence, and just say he beats Spence by knockout, you almost got to put him in the conversation, Penny. I mean, Jimmy, no?
Yeah, bro, 100%, because, he's moving, he's a smaller guy, fighting a guy in Errol Spence who's younger, bigger, undefeated. He's got 3 belts, and he's on a pound for pound list. And a lot of people have him as the underdog. So this is a massive win. And if he does it, he'll be the first man in the 4-belt era to become undisputed 2 times. It's never been done before. So, I mean, look, man, Mayweather's never unified one division. If Crawford does it twice and is beating really good fighters, it's really tough. If he does it 3 times, bro, then, bro, we got to start asking some questions about this greatness. We got to start asking questions, bro. Like, no, I think Crawford's got a better resume overall than Spence. He's beat more champions. He's won more world titles, and he's done it in more weight classes. And even at welterweight, right? Spence's 3 best wins are Ugas, Porter, and Brook, and Crawford's best wins are Jeff Horn, Porter, and Brook. So, bro, the difference really isn't that big. You know, Jeff Horn was an undefeated champion coming off of a big win over Pacquiao, even though it was a little bit controversial, but still, undefeated guy, Olympian, champion, top 3 welterweight. Crawford destroyed him. Sean Porter, first man to knock him out. Cal Brook blasted him out 3 rounds, former champion. Spence beat Ugas, which was cool, you know. But Spence is still trying to do what Crawford did 5 years ago. So Spence is a 3-division champion, former undisputed. And Errol's a 1-division champion who's unified. So I think Crawford's resume deserves more respect. Like, fans should give more respect, man. It's not easy being an undefeated 3-division champion, former undisputed, like top 5 pound for pound, bro.
Yeah, man, that's a good point, Jimmy, that you alluded to, man. And I just want to say, man, both of these guys are really good fighters, man. And this is an elite level, but this fight puts you at like fucking a whole totally different level. Like, the winner of this fight is on Canelo status, damn near. Like, they might not have I guess you could say, they might not have fame from the casuals like Canelo has, but from the hardcores, me speaking from one, you gotta put, if one of these guys win emphatically, like by knockout, especially if it's Crawford, you gotta put him at the #1 pound for pound, like unequivocally, like unanimously. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're 3-division champion. Huh? What'd you say?
I said, if Crawford wins by knockout, for me, it's a bigger deal because he's a smaller guy moving up in weight to knock out a guy that's a lot bigger and stronger. So for me, that's more impressive. 3-division champion, 2-time undisputed. Bro, man, that's Hall of Fame level stuff.
How do you feel right now, Jimmy, about, everything? Shout out. Let me go to the chat real quick. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Armando in the chat. Rage, Trendsetter, Crawford's not you guys. Penny in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Please smash that like button, you guys. Let's definitely get these likes up, man. I'm going to go down the chat, man. We got Jimmy live on the broadcast, man. Coily Boxing is back, better than ever. Finally got my laptop, finally back on the things. And Armando said,
I just want to ask you. Corey, I want to ask you. I never got your take, though. Who do you think is going to win out of Crawford and Spence?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to break that down right now. Let me just go to the chat, because these are the people with no voice, so I got to at least be that voice for them. So Armando says, why wasn't Crawford unifying when Spence was out for nearly 3 years? Why wasn't Crawford unifying when Spence was out for nearly 3 years? He had all the belts. Spence had all the belts on lock, dude. He couldn't. It's no way that Crawford could fight for one of Spence's belts when he was out not fighting, because he was, you could only fight for maybe an interim belt. But I think that would just be smoke and mirrors. This fight happened for a reason. I think that I think last fight somebody was talking. I think Crawford and Spence kind of knew, like, if Spence got past you guys, it was almost an unwritten, agreement that both guys had. Like, man, if I beat you guys, motherfucker, we getting it on. Like, ain't nothing getting in our way. You know what I mean? And I know they talk that shit. If you guys go to Coily Boxing on YouTube right now and go check out the shorts from Coily Boxing, and you'll see I posted about 2 days ago that's got about over 1,000 views now. Is a video from about 2 years ago from Terence Crawford and Errol Spence in the crowd of a fight, and they're both saying, you know, I can't wait to fight this motherfucker. Like, I can't. They were going back at each other. And I just feel like this fight has been on the horizon for over 4 years, man. Enough sitting in the pot, man. It's time to eat. Armando says, give credit for you guys when you guys' paper record was 27-4, but those 4 losses were robberies. Maybe the only guy who beat him was Ahman, but it was close. You guys was arguably 31-0 or 30-0-1 or 31-1. No, Armando. You guys was 27-4 and that's how you gotta answer those type of questions, Jimmy.
Yeah.
But it was just all good, Armando, man. I just fucking with you, man. But yeah, man, you guys was 27-3 at the time. He did have 3, you know, pretty close decision losses. But, you know, you got to call a spade a spade. A lot of fighters in their career have close wins and close losses. You know, you got to take like, you got 2 guys that really haven't had close fights. You can't say that Spence, like, well, the Sean Porter fight was close for Spence. I will give you that. But you can't be like none of Spence fights was robbery, like he's not supposed to be here. And the same goes for Crawford. You can't say none of Crawford's fights were robberies and he doesn't deserve to be here. Both of these guys took a wild, twisty road. But man, we're finally here, Jimmy. Let me read some more of this chat and then I'm going to go back to you on your thoughts on Crawford versus Spence. And I know you want my breakdown, so let me hurry up and read these chats. Amano says Spence was the first guy to actually beat you guys. Not just beat him, stop you guys. Broke his eye, man. Yeah, man, he sure did. You're right about that. Rage in the chat says Crawford wins, I think. Crypto Colors says at Coily Boxing. What's up, man? Mason in the chat, he says, yo, what's up, Mason? Armando in the chat says, I don't know, man. Spence has fought the better competition. The only real good guys Crawford beat was a prime Gamboa and Postal, also Porter. He says, Brooke and Porter. He says Spence has Brooke, Danny Swift Garcia, Peterson. Yeah, he did stop Peterson. You guys and Porter. Yeah, I mean, wow, man. He says, I'm back in the office. I'll be in the chat, bro. Okay, no doubt, Penny. He said he's lost his battery on his phone. Romano says, you guys was robbed, man. He never had a fair shake in his career because he was Cuban. I'm not a big not a big name. Politics was against him. You can't say that, though, Armando. Like, I fuck with you, like, you know what I mean? You know I fuck with you, Armando. But you can't say that, man, because you guys definitely got a fair shake, man. When it came to the Errol Spence fight, I don't mean to laugh, man, but it's just like, come on, bro. Like, come on. You're doing this to yourself, Armando. Stop doing this to yourself, bro. I mean, you're setting yourself up for these answers that I got to give you, man. You guys got stopped, man. There was no fucking judge or referee that was going to help him or anything. And they actually prolonged the stoppage because I feel like the shit could have been stopped before the stoppage. So that's even more of a bigger victory for Spence That punishment kept going past what I thought it should go past. That's how bad the punishment was. So it don't matter about the 3 or 4 losses now. He got stopped and he got punished by Errol Spence Jr. And it's time to move on. You guys maybe stay at 147, maybe fight Jerron Boots Ennis. But yeah, man, what you think is next for you guys since Armando keeps bringing up you guys?
I mean, to be honest, mate, it's tough to say because he's at 36 years old now and he took a bad loss. He took a lot of damage, you know, he broke his nose, his ribs, his eye socket. I think maybe this is it for him because a lot of these Cubans, they're a lot older than what they say. So this guy might be about 40 years old. So maybe have a couple of more fights and call it a day. I mean, at welterweight, I really don't know who I wouldn't favor him to beat someone like a Virgil Ortiz or a Boots Ennis. I think they would beat him. A 154, I think, is just too many sharks. I don't know what he does, to be honest. I think maybe have a few more fights and just call it a day. Look, man, you made a lot of money. You became a world champion. You're an Olympian. You had a good career, you know? Made some good money. I think Ugas can retire, you know? Maybe have one last, you know, fight, a farewell win, and then just call it a day. What do you think?
Smash that like button too, you guys. As soon as you guys come in, let's get these likes up, man. Please smash that like button. As far as you guys goes, Jimmy, I'm gonna say, you know, in my personal opinion, I think you guys, I think he needs to possibly think about hanging it up. I have nothing against you guys. I think he's a hell of a fighter. I think you guys, you know, did. It's at a point in you guys' career that I think he needs to maybe think about, you know, taking a step back, at least for a while, man. You know, like, let's see you guys' face after the fight, man. Let me work on some things real quick. Let me get this popping for you guys. Because, you know, Corey got the computer now, so, you know, I'm going to try to show off a little bit. I've learned some shit. So let's see what we got here. All right. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Let me see. Hold on.
The Crawford Spence post.
No, I got another one. I want to kind of make this point. I want you guys at home to understand this point that I'm getting at. Can you see the pictures now? Can you see?
Yep.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, bro. Yep.
All right. Look, y'all. This is you guys' face. Hold on. I'm trying to go to you guys' face before the fight, man, because I don't think you guys understand the level of brutality that Spence put on last week. It was crazy, man. So this is Spence. This is you guys' face. Fine, you know what I mean? Good, fine. He's good. He just, you know, weighed in. You know, everything was straight. Now this is you guys post fight. Let's see. And the only reason why I bring this up, you guys, because I want to show you guys how serious this sport is. I don't think you guys understand how hard it is to take hits like that. This dude, you guys, was taking uppercuts from Spence all fucking night. All night, man. And dude, they don't even have his face on here, man. They don't even have his face on here, dude. They don't want to show that, man. It was brutal. It was brutal, man. You know, look at Sean Porter's face. Sean Porter's retired now. You know, Sean Porter has retired because of him and his dad. You know, but as far as you guys, man, I think you guys should retire or think about it. If not, I mean, do you guys want to see you guys take more punishment? I mean, what do you think, Jimmy? I don't think he should. I mean, I think if he fights somebody, maybe a lower level. You
I
know,
agree,
maybe a
bro. I
year
mean,
left.
yeah, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, like this guy is nearly 40 years old. He had his nose broken, eye broken, ribs broken. I mean, at this point,
Damn,
does he really
yo.
want to be?
Can you list those injuries again for the fans out there?
Yeah, he had his ribs broken, his eye socket broken, and his nose broken. So he broke his nose, his eye, and his ribs. Took a lot of damage physically as well. Lost a lot of blood. I mean, this guy's almost 40 years old. Look, he's had a good career. You know, he became a world champion. He, won an Olympic medal. Made some good money. Does he really want to be used as a stepping stone for guys like Boots Ennis or Virgil Ortiz? That's what they're going to do. The young guys are just going to beat him up now. So he might as well just sail off into the sunset. Look, he's had a good career. He's made some good money. Why keep getting beat up and knocked out for what?
Yeah. I feel
I mean,
you,
I don't
man.
think. I'll be honest. I don't think if he moves up to 154, he could beat the guys like Charlo, Castano, Fondora. Nah, man. Well, Errol Spence in the rematch. If Errol moves up, I just can't see him having a good career at 154. And at 147, there's just too many young lions. Look, man, you've made some good money. You won a world title, Olympic medal. I mean, you've done a lot of good things in your career. Why not sail off into the sunset with some respect instead of being used as a gatekeeper?
Yeah, like, and that's another thing. Like, nobody wants to see this guy take all of this punishment, neither, you know? Like, my personal opinion, I know I don't, And it's like, that's what we've been seeing lately. We've been seeing, you guys take punishment. He took punishment in the Manny Pacquiao fight. He took a lot of punishment in the Manny Pacquiao fight. A lot of people don't, they don't talk about, but he definitely took
Yeah,
some punishment.
Even the Porter fight, that was very tough. That fight was real tough, the Porter fight. Both guys took a lot of punches. And he's getting up there, bro. Like, this guy's nearly 40 years old, or 36,
Yeah.
I think I don't want to see him like keep getting fucked up, because do you think he'd beat someone like a Boots Ennis or Virgil Ortiz? I don't think so.
No, I don't. I mean, I think you guys can still be some of the lower level talent, but but that's another thing. Like, these two men are so great, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Who's to say you guys doesn't have another great performance left in him? But do we want to see him go through I don't want to see him go through any more punishment after that fight, bro. That was painful to watch.
Bro, I don't think he'll be the same after this. The broken ribs, the broken nose, the crushed eye socket. He took a lot of blows to the brain, like to the head. He's got a concussion. Man, that's a lot, man. The blood loss. He's damn near 36, 37 when he comes back. I think he won't be the same, bro. I think, look,
Shout out.
You got into.
Let me go to the chat real quick. I just gotta go. It's piling up. Oscar says, for real, Jeff, a Crawford, a Crawford, a bad mother. He says, I know dude is just explosive. The new marvelous. I guess he was saying marvelous Marvin Hagler. Wow, yeah. Crypto Color says, everyone that Earl beat, Bud beat. So make no difference. Let's go, champ. Lil Penny says, at Armando, you guys had a great performance against Porter and Pacquiao, but he did not, and that's what Penny says, but in my personal opinion, he did not have a great performance against Errol Spence. Game plan was all off. I didn't like his game plan. I think Salas, excuse me if I'm butchering his trainer's name, but his head trainer should have, they had no plan B, no plan C, no D, no nothing. I mean, he was just in the fucking pocket getting punished. And it was just like,
bro, like, I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm not trying to disrespect Ugas. Yeah. But there were times where he was trying to be a punch bag in there. Why stand in the pocket if you're not going to throw back? Like,
that's what I'm saying, man. And Lil Penny in the chat says, you guys had 2 money fights against Pacquiao and Spence. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Penny in the chat says Spence didn't leave it up to the judges. No, he didn't. I don't think he was going to do that. I think him and his head trainer, which is former trainer of the year, Derek James, and current unified champion and going for another undisputed belt too is Charlo, which is he's ready to fight Castaño, which I want to get to in a minute as well, man. Wow, there's so many points I want to get to, Jimmy, because I want to get your thoughts on it too, man. Jimbo in the chat says Horn had a better run at 147 than you guys or Garcia. Ricky Burns was a 3-division champion and the number one guy in 135. And Dongo was an undefeated and unified champion. They were good wins, yeah, but that Ndongo win, man. And Dongo was shaky from the get-go in my eyes. I've seen way better, African fighters from the motherland, from that area, better than Ndongo. But I know he had the accolades and stuff like that. But the guys he beat, man, I just think Ndongo got thrown into that spotlight after like 1 or 2 good wins, and he just wasn't ready for it. I mean, you could just tell from the get-go. Ndongo got beat pillar to post, and it was just done. Ice season written all over it. I called ice season on that fight too. Armando says, and that's why I give Spence credit. Okay. Armando comes back with this credit. Okay. Penny says, Crypto Colors, Bud's fighting Spence's leftovers. Okay. Shout out to Penny in the chat. He says, Coy, are the Spence versus you guys pay-per-view numbers out yet? If so, how many pay-per-views did they do? That's a good question, man. For the you guys versus Spence pay-per-view buys, I just think, both guys, from what I'm hearing, they sold a lot. And I just think it's got to be a week after, right, Jimmy? After the I think it's got to be a full week after, huh?
Yeah, you have to wait a week or sometimes even 2 before the numbers come in, because they collect it through the satellite and the app and things like that. So it takes a little while.
From what they're saying on here, they're saying that they got a rough estimate about 250,000 pay-per-view buys. That's not, like I said, that's just a rough estimate. Somebody's throwing out there on the internet. But like I said, I'm not for sure 100%. There's no definitive numbers out there right now that, from what I can see, I haven't seen Boxing Scene or none of the top websites. Huh?
Yeah, I think it'll do about 200,000 buys, because Spence versus Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is a much bigger name in America. American champion. Hispanic background than Ugas. Even Sean Porter, they did about, I think, 300. So I think it'll do about 200, 250. Because no one really knows Ugas,
Shout out to Rage. He says he will call it a day. He talking about you guys, I think. He says, Crypto Color says, at Penny, he says, don't matter. Other fighters too scared to fight Bud. So now Bud versus Earl. It's on now. May the best man win. Yeah, man. It's on now. It is fucking on, dude. I'm so stoked and I'm so happy about this. And that's, I want to get to 2 more points on this show, man, too, Jimmy. And Jimmy, I'm gonna be going live tomorrow too, man. So if you want to, you can jump on tomorrow too. But
yeah, bro.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, man, the 154-pound division is ready to get lit on fire, dude. I mean, you guys got to think about it. All of these big names from 147 pounds are moving up to 154 in a matter of 1 year. And it's like, I don't have all of those 154-pounders, moving up to 160. I mean, obviously, to be honest, right now, after Triple G and, Canelo had their little fight, who's left at 160? So I feel like certain guys will move up. You still got Charlo at 160 and stuff like that. And you got the other Charlo at 154. But this whole 147 and 154 exchange and, this whole ordeal with Bud moving up right after this fight and Errol Spence moving up right after this fight. I mean, these dudes are on a collision course. I mean, maybe again. Jimmy, am I outlandish for saying that we might get these guys in the ring multiple times?
Nah, bro, I can see it definitely 100%. These guys are two, super elite fighters, champions, undefeated American stars. And if they go in there and put on a great fight, a good fight, close fight, fuck it, bro, run it again. It's for undisputed, man. You got two future Hall of Fame level fighters. And if it's a good fight, a war, close, man, put on the rematch, Why not? That's how legends are born, trilogies.
Wow. And yeah, man, like I truly feel, Jimmy, like right now you got Crawford and Spence, but both of these guys have paved the way for even younger fighters that are coming up in the ranks like Jerome Boots Ennis. And I like how Jerome Boots Ennis is going about it. He's not being disrespectful. He's not being, arrogant. He's not being a jackass and making a mockery of himself. He's just being a fucking good, hard-nosed Philly fighter.
Corey, what's your early thoughts on Crawford versus Spence? Are you there? Can you hear me? Corey, are you still on? I can't hear you. The chat can't hear you either.
Can you hear me? Hey, y'all, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can now. You went.
All right, my bad. Yo, Jimmy, if this janky connection ever does that again, just keep ripping while I'm off, all right? And everything will be straight. All right?
No worries. Yeah, I just want what's your early thoughts on the fight, Crawford and Spence?
Okay, so Crawford and Spence, you guys, right now, Crawford and Spence. Wow, man, this is a big breakdown, man. I really do want to save the breakdown. Like, I'm gonna give you guys a little test of what my early assumptions of the fight is right now, and here it is, you guys. But I'm gonna do a real good breakdown once they really show the fight. I'm gonna probably bring up some footage. I might, to be honest with you guys, y'all might actually see Corey Lee's Studios #editing, man, finally. And I might actually put together like a highlight reel type breakdown type video that I've always wanted to do. My editing skills are getting better with the computer, so hopefully I can bring you guys that. But as far as just the breakdown right now, like I said, man, Errol Spence has went through a lot to get to this point, just to even stand up and to have all of these straps. He's got 3 world titles in his possession right now. He's got the WBC, one of the most coveted belts in boxing, the green belt, okay? He's got the IBF, which he won from Kell Brook, okay? He went over there to the UK and dethroned a very healthy and ready Kell Brook. Did have Dominic Ingle in his corner. Can't take that away from you. Can't take that away from Spence. Dominic Ingle was not in the corner of the Crawford fight. I feel like that played a big difference in that fight. Dominic Ingle knows what makes Kell Brook tick, and I feel like he's dialed in a lot more when he's with Dominic Ingle. With that being said, he has the WBA, which you guys had the WBA, and he was and he got that belt from Manny Pacquiao. Okay, and Errol Spence got the WBA from you guys. So he's earned his right to be here. As far as the fundamentals go with Errol Spence, he's got to work off the jab, and he's got to watch for any switch hitting from Crawford. Crawford's going to go in southpaw. He's going to come in there. I feel like he's going to start the fight off. Crawford's going to start the fight off unorthodox, and then he's gonna switch it around to southpaw. I feel like that southpaw stance is coming. It's only a matter of time. Okay, and I want to see, because if you guys take a closer look at that Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook fight, Kell Brook was touching Crawford up for the first couple rounds. And maybe it was all a plan for him to, get better over time, and, for him to get better, when and figure Brook out. He had to kind of get wet almost in the, like a Hall of Fame trainer, Nazim Richardson, said, you got to swim without getting wet. What that means is you got to be able to punch without getting punched. And I think that Crawford, to do what he wanted to do, maybe he had to put himself in harm's way sometimes to throw Kell Brook off guard. Like, yeah, you got me, that jab's been working, but then boom. You know what I mean? It just was one of those type of punches he caught. And I replayed this, man. Jimmy, I don't know if you watched the fight lately, but I replayed this the other day, yesterday to be exact.
Yep.
Kell Brook got knocked down. Do you remember what he got knocked down with initially?
By Crawford.
Yeah. Do you remember the punch?
Yeah, I remember. It was like a jab that he turned into a hook. Right?
Yes, bro. It was a jab. Good job. Ding, 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 ding. Jimmy just won Corey Lee Boxing's new merch. But yeah, you did good, man. I didn't know if you was gonna get that or not, man. He knocked Kell Brook down with a jab, you guys. Okay, that right there sends a whole hell of a lot of warning shots to me in this Errol Spence fight, because I feel like Errol Spence was getting touched up he was getting touched up by Kell Brook. But not only that, in the Errol Spence fight versus Kell Brook, and some will say, well, that was before the wars that Kell Brook had, the Triple G war, the Errol Spence war. Kell Brook went and fought Terence Crawford after all those wars. And I understand that you guys will say that, but my rebuttal to that is Crawford can only fight who's in front of him. Top Rank mismanaged the shit out of Terence Crawford's career. That's not his fault. He can only do what he wants. He can only do what they put him in front of him to do. And to be honest with you, Top Rank didn't have too many more welterweights for Crawford to fight. He went through all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're fighting 3 times a year and you've been undefeated for fucking 14 years, how many welterweights? Let's just say Crawford's been at welterweight for 4 years now? 3 years now? Let's just say he's been at welterweight for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Out of those 5 years, Crawford's fighting 3 times a year. 3 times 3, that's 9. You got to come up with 9 top welterweights for Terence Crawford to fight. Top Rank just ain't had the bodies, man. I'm going to just be honest with you. You feel me though, Jimmy?
Yeah, bro. I mean, look, they did what they could. Jeff Horn was, an undefeated champion at welterweight, coming off of the Pacquiao fight. I thought that was good. He fought Kell Brook, who was still a big name. Sean Porter was one of the top welterweights, a top 5 welterweight, bro. 2-time world champion. Beat Ugas, beat Danny Garcia, Devin Alexander. Had a war with Errol Spence. I thought that was a really good win. Crawford was the first guy to knock him out. But outside of that, guys like Kavalauskas, okay, that was like a mandatory. I mean, it's like you said, bro, they didn't have a deep stable, so who could Crawford fight? He kept calling out Spence. He kept trying to make the Pacquiao fight. But, it's just one of them, What can you do?
Yeah, man. So how do you feel like the fight's going to go down? And, right now, you guys, I want to tell you guys, please smash that like button. We got to get these likes up, you guys. And share this on all social media, you guys. Coily Boxing is back. I'm definitely gonna be going live for the Dillian White versus Tyson Fury fight this weekend.
I'm Jimbo in the chat.
Huh?
That's me in the chat. That's me, Jimbo. That's me in the chat.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, my boy got the Jimbo. Now, one of my friends is named Jimbo. That's crazy. That's why I was like, maybe he was. I was like, damn. He follows my personal account, and so I'm like, damn, he might have, finally came in on my Quarterly Boxing account and finally,
No, man,
checked
it's
out my
Jimmy.
live stream. But come to find
No,
out,
it's a
it's
word
Jimmy.
player. No, it's a word player. You know, Rambo. Like combine Rambo and Jimmy, you get Jimbo.
Oh, okay. I see you got the Wolverine background, man. That's one of my favorite Marvel characters.
Yeah, bro. For me, I'm leaning towards Crawford, bro, to knock
Uh-huh.
out Errol Spence.
Mm-hmm.
I think Crawford's a guy that's faster, more explosive puncher, a better boxer, because you can switch hit. You got better footwork, awkward
Who's got
angles.
better footwork?
Terence Crawford.
He's got better footwork than Errol Spence?
Yeah, bro. Because I've seen
Wow.
Crawford.
Break that down, man. How do you feel? Like, why do you come up with these things? How did you come up with some of these? You know what I mean? Is it because of the switch hitting, or what is it? What do you think?
Because when Crawford fought Victor Postol, do you remember? He was gliding around the ring like he was like a master boxer. He was darting in and out, fighting on the back foot, the front foot, moving around the ring, changing up the angles. The same when he fought Sean Porter, he was running Sean Porter into the turnbuckle, knocked him down twice, stopped him. I think he's a bigger puncher because he's got 100% knockout ratio at welterweight. I think he's just a little bit faster as well than Spence. Look, Kell Brook and Sean Porter both fought Crawford and Spence, and they both say that Bud Crawford is a more special fighter. That they pick him to actually beat Spence, both of them. So both of their common opponents. And these guys are champions. Yeah, bro. Sean Porter picks Crawford to beat Spence, and so does Kell Brook. They just feel like Crawford's a little bit more special, a little bit more, a little bit better. So for me, that's a big deal, bro, because those guys are champions, former fighters. They've shared the ring with both of them. So
Yeah,
I think
was gonna
Crawford's
say that Victor Postol fight was about 6 years ago, though, man. I mean, so much can change in 6 years, man. This guy, Terence Crawford, I feel like, you kind of got to go on how their last performance was. And to be honest with you, Terence Crawford's last performance was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, he was pretty good. Yeah, a lot of people say that this guy is tainted. His last win is tainted. Some people say that, it was already saying that, Derek James said the fix was in already. He said that, he's saying pretty much that Kenny Porter said that he was gonna stop the fight before the fight even happened. So Derek James said Kenny Porter and Sean Porter haven't spoke since fight night, and he had a bunch of allegations to say about the whole Crawford versus Porter fight. And I think that Derek James he's kind of wound up already about this fight, man. I mean, they were like, how do you feel about Crawford's 11 fight knockout streak? And Derek James just paused and looked at him and was like, who the hell is he knocked out?
These are all champions and contenders. So if it's a guy like a Mean Machine, this guy's an undefeated 2-time Olympian mandatory contender. If it's a guy like Sean Porter, Kell Brook, these are former champions. He's not knocking out like bums though, is he? Like, he's not knocking out cab drivers. He's beating former champions.
He's not.
Top contenders. So I think that they do hate a little bit. Derek James, he does hate a lot on Crawford, to be honest.
You think so?
Yeah, bro, because he's always saying negative stuff, always like, Crawford's overrated, he's not a big star, his knockouts are fake. Like, he is a hater, bro.
Wow, man. I think Derek James, I mean, to be honest with you, man, I think Derek James is a good trainer. Yeah, he has a lot of stuff to say, but I mean, you guys got to understand, I think that what makes Errol Spence, because they were saying before Derek James got in, they were saying Errol Spence didn't even want to train with Derek James in the beginning. His dad paid Derek James for Derek James to help Errol Spence out, and Errol Spence didn't even know that in the beginning. And so I just feel like, now
I think Crawford needs to win more though. is there some music on? Are you still on, Corey? Okay, I think Corey's connection just went. So I'll just read the chat.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro, you're back. Yeah. So you just completely went silent for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I had to switch some shit around. But yeah, so look, this is what I want to ask you guys, and I want to ask the fans out there. I want to ask everybody that's tuned in right now that's gonna rewatch this live stream.
Yep.
Man, how do you like? I really want to know, like, you being a diehard fan, right, Jimmy? How long you been watching boxing, man? How long you been a fan of boxing, man?
I've been a fan for nearly 10 years.
So you've been a fan of boxing for 10 years, okay? Out of
Yeah,
your
nearly.
10 years of boxing, just be honest. And this goes for people in the fans, and this goes for everybody at home watching this too. This is a question for all of you guys and girls out there. I can't forget the girls. Out of your 10 years of watching boxing and out of your 10 years of watching fights and seeing how fights are set up,
Yep.
what?
Yeah, Corey, mate, your audio's gone. Your mic's gone. Are you still there?
That you probably went to go see live. Like, where does this fight rate? You know what I mean? Like, where is this fight at in Jimmy's, almost, you could say, like, Hall of Fame of fights, of fights that you wanted to see, like whether it may be the Canelo Mayweather, the Mayweather versus Pacquiao, Mayweather versus De La Hoya. Where does this fight rate at? You know what I mean?
I feel like this is better than a lot of those fights because both of these guys are undefeated and in their prime, and it's for the undisputed welterweight championship. Well, Pacquiao Mayweather fought, even though it was a super fight, I felt like both guys were kind of a little bit older and past their prime.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for undisputed. Canelo Mayweather, that was a big fight, but that was really before Canelo became a superstar or a pound for pound level fighter, like an elite fighter. It was early. See, this fight, both guys right now are in their prime. They're undefeated, the champions, the elite level fighters. It's number one versus number two. It's all the belts. I think this fight's bigger, bro.
So you feel like that this is the biggest fight that you can probably ever remember, like even like the height, everything around it. Shout out to L Foul Play. Let me go to the chat real quick, and then you can go right. I'm gonna let you go right in after that. Let me go back to Crypto Color says at Corley Boxing, Canelo saw Earl and Bud from a mile away and started putting on weight to get out of their way. Laugh my ass off. Jimbo Armando says Jimbo same can be said for Brook against Crawford. He drained himself to make 147, a weight he hadn't made in 3 years. Good point, Armando. Very good point. And that was directed at you, Jimbo, aka Jimmy.
No, I told him. My point was, even though Crawford fought an older Brook, Spence, when he fought Brook, was coming off of a knockout loss to Golovkin, coming off of an eye surgery and moving down 2 divisions. So people say Crawford didn't fight a good Brook, but Spence didn't fight the perfect Brook. I think Sean Porter fought the best Brook.
You feel like who? Yeah, Sean Porter. Yeah, I think he did too. But that was a fight that Brook won, and that was a fight that he came all the way over here and got the belt from. Remember, I think that was Kell Brook's first fight in America, and it was for a world title. That's big, and he won that fight. That's why I say, man, a lot of people. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I know a lot of people might want to say something about this, but I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Do not feel surprised if you guys hear of Kell Brook upsetting another fighter in the next couple months or year or two. Because I don't think he's done. And I think he still has a couple good fights in him. And I loved what I seen out of the Amir Khan fight. I predicted I was 1 round off of that fight. I think I predicted like a stoppage in the 7th round or something, 6th round. So I was 1 round off of that fight. I was 1 round off the Triple G Murata fight. I was 1 round off of the Spence versus you guys fight. I mean, you guys got to give a brother credit, man. And I'm in the
Yeah,
Champ Ross
bro.
Prediction League. And I'm on the Champ Ross Prediction League. So if you don't believe me, go on his Facebook right now at Champ Ross and go look my shit up, man. I do this shit for real, man. You know what I mean? And not only am I picking who is gonna win, I'm picking the round they're gonna win in. You know what I mean?
That's tough.
Yeah, so last prediction league, I was like third, I think, in the KO predictions, like all of the KOs throughout the whole year. Or I was third out of like 70 people, 80 people. But yeah, Lil Penny in the chat says Crypto Colors, if the rematch happens, it'll be at 154 because in 2023, Spence will move up to 154 regardless what happens to the Bud fight. That's very true, Penny. Armando says I feel if it's a knockout Crawford by KO, if it goes to decision, I got Earl. You got Earl by decision? I think if it go to decision, I would probably favor Crawford because of him not wanting to get hit as much and him, being so good with the jab. But we've seen guys like Kell Brook, which was in the bubble, which was during COVID with no fans there. All you seen was fucking Terence Bud Crawford's mom and family screaming. I mean, it was like they were the only fans in the whole fight with Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford. Remember that fight?
Yeah, bro. It was inside the bubble. He knocked him out with the jab.
Yeah, it was knocked him out with a jab. Yeah, so I mean, moving forward, y'all, like I said, both guys are gonna definitely bring it. But Jimmy, I really want to touch on the 154-pound division real quick, you guys, because we got to talk about it. I mean,
We can't hear you, Corey. Your mic is gone.
Now?
Yeah, Corey's audio is gone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Corey's audio is gone. Corey, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. We can hear you now. Are you there, Corey? No, it's gone again. The audio's gone again.
Hey, I'm back. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right, my bad. But my bad. So yeah, so like I was saying, y'all, I feel like Kell Brook. I was saying I think Kell Brook has a couple good fights left in him. But I was saying after that, hold on, somebody in the chat. All right, yeah, we good. I was saying in the chat.
It's gone again, Corey. Your audio. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Going up there, man. You know what I mean? Errol Spence is a bigger superstar, I feel like, than anybody at 154 pounds right now. What do you think? And Crawford. What do you think?
I agree, bro.
I think Crawford and Spence are bigger than everybody that's at 154 right now.
Yeah, bro. The bigger superstars, they've got bigger fan bases, bigger ticket sellers.
This is another thing too, you guys, man. I might give you guys some special footage, man, on this fight coming up. From what I'm hearing, Jared Hurd is going to be back training again. Could we possibly see the first fight of Errol Spence or the first fight of Terence Crawford at 154 fighting a guy like Jared Hurd to welcome one of them guys into 154 pounds? Or
maybe
could we possibly see a Jared Hurd in a tune-up fight and then fight the winner of Castano versus Charlo? Because remember, they still got to have opponents to fight. Charlo versus Castano. And Jared Hurd is still a good name out there.
Yeah, bro. He's a former unified champion. He had a good resume, when he beat Austin Trout, Tony Harrison, and Lara.
Wow,
he's a good fighter,
man. Big win.
Yeah, bro. Hopefully he can bounce back. He was actually one of my favorite fighters, but
Who,
he just went
Jared
off the
Hurd?
radar. Yeah, man. Do you remember when he was on the rise? When he was unifying titles, he knocked out Austin Trout, beat Erzlandi Lara, knocked out Tony Harrison, unified 3 titles. I was really high on him, bro. But
Yeah,
then he just took,
man.
yeah, he took
Well,
a couple of bad losses.
a lot happened in his life, you know. And I'm just gonna say this because I know Jared Hurd. Like, I'm pretty good friend with Jared Hurd,
Yeah,
outside of the ring. And I just want to tell you guys that Jared Hurd lost his father, and that was a very big part of his life. And so I just feel like that, you know, that kind of affected him in his last fight, I think, you know. And I'm not making excuses for any fighter, but you know, they
definitely, bro. Mentally,
Jared Hurd lived
yeah,
with his family for a lot, like probably up until Jared. Listen to this shit. I'm interviewing Jared Hurd, right? I went all the way to DC to go interview him like a couple times. And so
yeah,
I'm interviewing him, right? I'm like, this dude a world champion. He's a beast, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, he probably got a mansion, you know, he's already a world champion. And remember, this is coming off the Lara fight. So he was a world champion and he was doing good, coming off one of the biggest fights of his career. And he said, yeah, I'm going home. And and then one of the guys was like, say what's up to mom for me. And I was like, wait, what? And so this dude was a world champion, you guys, living at home with his family, y'all. Come on, man. A lot of people don't even talk about that shit in the media. Like, I feel
yeah.
like Jared Hurd, once he gets his like everything together mentally, I think he could be a threat again. I just think he got to get
100%,
over that, you know. I think that was a big part, you know.
100%, bro. You know, when you lose your father or anyone in your family, mentally, it's it's really tough, bro. But hopefully, you can come back. He's still a young guy, a lot of talent, and hopefully, if he comes back, he can have a good run again. Become a champion again. So yeah, man. Good luck to him.
Shout out to Crypto Colors. He says, yeah, Hurd needs to stay away from Errol Spence. Wow. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Hurd, he's a big ass. I was 109. I was 200 pounds, right, when I interviewed him. And
Yeah,
when me and this dude stood side by side, we looked the exact same size. I'm 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's like 5'11", 6 foot, maybe 6'1". Like, I don't know how he makes 154 pounds. That's a gift within itself. that's a weapon, man. For a guy like that to weigh 154 is crazy. I could never imagine myself making 154 pounds. I'd be tearing down muscle and shit. But yeah, man. Armando says Jared Hurd grew out of 154 pounds. He was drained when he fought J-Rock, but he messed up trying to change his style. His last fight, man, terrible move by him. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Terrible move by him. Definitely terrible move by him. Can y'all still hear me? I'm just making sure y'all can still hear me out there. He says Armando at that time, the 154-pound division had a lot of killers. Yeah, they did, man. But look, you guys, I gotta go head out, man. I gotta go to work, man. It was awesome talking to you guys, man. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you can donate at Corley Boxing on Cash App. If you guys want to donate. And yeah, other than that, man, thank you guys so much for watching. And man, thank you. Just thanks, man, for supporting the channel. And I'll have more videos and more live streams coming up this weekend. So definitely stay tuned. This was, like I said, this was an awesome live stream. Definitely tons of support. If you guys want to support the channel, just like I said, go check me out on Instagram or share this. If you guys can share this on your social media, that should help out. Facebook, it'll help out. And yeah, man. So thanks to everybody that came on. Shout out to Penny. Shout out to Jimmy. And you guys have a great Thursday, man. I'll catch you guys this weekend, man.
Dillian White versus Tyson Fury. I got Tyson Fury winning that fight by knockout. Final breakdown coming tomorrow, you guys. I'm gonna do a live stream tomorrow. I'll try to do one early. So just stay tuned, you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll check you guys on the next one, you guys. Peace out. UGC, what's up, bro? Check out the replay, man. We burned it for 1 hour and 30 on this one. Later, y'all.